is actually no planned speaker for God Still Calls today, but I wanted to open up the opportunity for those who feel so led to share how God has been working and moving in your lives and in your heart. And so is there someone who wants to share something about the ways that God has been working and moving in your heart, in your lives, among your neighbors? Pastor Sharon.
I already shared this with Pastor Joe, but I'm going to share it with all of you because it was such an awesome happening. You know, we never know when we're going to have this chance offering to share the gospel. And I had one of those this week again. I wish I'd had them more often, but it just knocked my socks off. Did you know that God shows up at KFC? Again, God showed up at KFC. I didn't realize that was going to happen. They were celebrating Melody's birthday. They were at the mall. They asked me, okay, you can come out and join us. And Jeannie knows how I hate the mall. Okay, and I said, well, I know I'm wanted, and I thank you very much, but I'm choosing not to come. So when I hung up, I thought, now what am I going to do? I need dinner. And I had no idea where I was going. But I ended up at KFC. As I entered the door, this young man, about 45 years old, opened it for me. We're laughing. I'm covered with goggles because of the bad wind and dust, and a mask on to protect my breathing. And we're laughing. I said, I look like somebody from outer space or something like that. And he laughed because he was a pest control person. I thought I was going to get sprayed. But anyway, we went in. We were having some light conversation as we went to order. When he went to sit down in the booth next to me, I said, why don't you just join me? I'm here by myself too. And I said, I'm a pastor. I didn't want him to think I was hitting on him. You know, so, and he came right over and joined me. And as we were continuing our conversation, discovered that this young man is a parole officer. And his heart was very heavy for his brother. His brother has been on drugs, on alcohol, about 5 different women, children to each one. They don't even know where everybody is. He was telling me how there's no hope left for him. He said, we've been hoping and praying for all these years. And I said, no, don't give up on hope. Don't speak those words of no hope. Speak the words of hope, because faith, hope, and love never fail. Amen. So we're going to pray for him tonight. May I pray for you? He said, sure. I said, Lord, with our eyes open in this restaurant, we're coming to you. And we're asking for your grace upon this brother. For you to find him, pick him up, and move him out of his ways and into yours. And as we prayed, I could see this dear man just starting to melt before the Lord. It was so moving. And I can't tell you how blessed I was to have that opportunity to minister to this man who was in such pain. And he was a parole officer working part-time at this other job. After we prayed, he got out his wallet. He's showing me all his family photos. It was beautiful. And when he went to leave, he stood up and he shook my hand. And I knew with that handshake, he was telling me he loved me. It was in his eyes. It was in his handshake. It was a beautiful, blessed moment. And as I left there, I said to him before I left, I said to this young man, I said, well, now I know why I didn't go to the mall. Because God had other plans. But as I went to drive out of the parking lot, I'm in amazement saying, God, how did you coordinate that whole thing? How did he arrive at that door to open the door for me? I mean, it was down to the second. What an awesome God we have. And I pray that we all take advantage of those moments, because you truly will be blessed. I just felt that I had been walking in the presence of God. It was a wonderful moment, and I pray you experience those too. Don't be afraid to ask somebody how they're doing, what's up in your life, and don't be afraid to pray with them no matter where you are, because God hears and God is there. Thank you for this opportunity.
Amen. Amen.